First of all, Phil, it's great to be here in Athens. I'm really excited to see the build. It's a lot further on than I thought it was going to be as well. So it's this start of the stage of the process really where you start to look at actually what it's going to feel like, and you can picture people walking into the gym being amazed by how much equipment there is, what the atmosphere is like, and yeah, it's great to see it.
Yeah, it's been definitely a challenge getting to this point with all the setup that was required to start construction, but now that construction started, it has been moving very quickly. I mean, we've got some of the rooms painted now and it's starting to feel more like a gym. It was definitely a process of waiting for it to start looking like an Ultraflex, so I'm glad that's finally happening now.
Well, look, also fingers crossed. I know everything's on track for early 2025, so I've got fingers and toes crossed that we'll get it there. And I know people get really excited as they start to see it come together in the final weeks. I'm looking forward to sharing lots of the details on the stories and posts for people so they can keep up to date with the progress and follow the journey as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're still looking now. I think towards the end of January is probably where we're going to have all the equipment land. The building will be done way before then. It's just we didn't want all the equipment to arrive and not have anywhere to put it essentially. So coordinating with all our suppliers is not always the easiest.
I can imagine. Well, it's a late Christmas present for everyone, and I'm sure it'll be well worth the wait when we get.
Exactly. It also weeds out the New Year's resolutions that won't stick to joining the gym. So hopefully by that point, we'll be the more serious people that come and find us.
The reason the gym got going in the first place is that I was traveling a lot and going to some amazing gyms around the world. But when I came back to my hometown, which was Leeds in the UK, I couldn't find a gym of a really top standard. And at the time I was competing, really passionate about training, and I thought there must be other people out there like me who wanted to have an amazing gym with all the best equipment. And I realized after a while from talking to some of the guys I trained with, that actually this wasn't going to happen unless I made it happen. So that's how the first gym came about. Partnered up with my training partner Mike, and we fitted out the gym as an enthusiast, not as a business. So part of what we were looking at was how we could have the best equipment. Rather than thinking about profit, we were thinking about presentation and about quality. And so that gym wasn't designed to be a business, it was designed to be an iron playground for enthusiasts, for people who are passionate about training, or just people who wanted a great gym experience to come in and be able to use some of the best equipment you could find. And also not just from one manufacturer, but handpicked from the best manufacturers across the world. So we imported pieces from Canada, from USA, we've imported pieces from Europe. And by doing that, we created something that was really special. And then the gym brand expanded out from there across parts of the UK. And then that's really kind of where it's led us to where we are today, which is looking at the European expansion, and with Athens being the first overseas gym that we've had. So it's really exciting to be here. And I suppose that's part of what I understood from you, and that there was an opportunity here where people who were really passionate about training, who wanted somewhere that was amazing to be in, and that Athens needed that opportunity to have that. So it's great to be doing Ultraflex here in Athens. I'm really excited to see what people think when they come in here. I'm sure they'll love it and enjoy it, and also that's part of how we can grow as a business as well, is that word of mouth and people having a fantastic gym session and saying to their friends, look, you've got to come try this place out as well.
Yeah, I mean, that is very much for me how the idea came about. Initially, I wanted to move back to Greece, and every time I returned, I would struggle to find a gym that would cover the needs that I had based on my expectations of gyms in the UK, and especially Ultraflex. Nothing like Ultraflex existed in Greece, and even to a much smaller scale, gyms were much more commercial or pivoted towards other styles of training. And at the time, fitness, especially bodybuilding, was starting to be just on the rise in Greece, and I thought, well, there's nothing to cater for this. Everyone follows what happens outside of Greece in other countries. So regardless, there's already people that also want this. It's not just me, and I would really appreciate having a nice gym to train at. And that was really how the idea came about for me. It was, in a similar way to you, it was create a facility for your own passion and training, but then actually there's also others that are going to be thinking in the same way. So I think for Greece, I think it's going to create a cultural shift around training, because it's such a big deviation from what already exists, done at such a higher extreme. I think it'll really be the start of a shift across Greece with what people expect then from their own gyms.
It's really exciting. I think that then becomes a mecca for people in the area to come in and train, for them to have that energy in that environment. One of the great things about the gyms isn't just the equipment, it's the people in the gyms. And so when you come in and you see some of the amazing people training, it's inspirational and motivational. I know some people have kind of wondered whether this is really happening. It's great to think, this is definitely happening. And I'm so excited to come back out here early in the new year, see it all finished and see people in and having a great time.
And I suppose on a point that you touched on in terms of hand-picking the equipment, that was very much the approach we went here. We've got over 100 pieces of equipment that have arrived. Some of the equipment we've even designed ourselves that doesn't exist anywhere else. And we went across 3 or 4 different countries just trying equipment. So every single machine that's been in here has been either things I've tried personally, or we've had feedback from other athletes, other gym users across the Ultraflex gyms in the UK. And also we're trying to get some new brands in now. So we've got brands that we've always had, such as Atlantis, Prime, Nautilus, but we've got a few new ones that have come in now, such as New Tech, and a few Jim Lecone and some other brands that we're testing out or up and coming.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure once we're open, I'll be getting a few notes from you about extra pieces that you say that we need. That's the fun thing about the gym evolving. It's not just where we start, it's as we progress and things continue to improve and tweak. And it's really useful for us to get that feedback from members as well about what they like, what they'd like to see, and how we can make it even better. The great thing with these gyms is it's not some big faceless corporation where you don't have access. You know, they're going to be able to speak to yourself or myself, share with us what they'd like to see, and that's how we can keep improving. So we're never complacent, we're always thinking about what we can do to make sure this is the ultimate gym experience for people. The great thing about these gyms is you get people traveling in from overseas. I know people from the UK who are already talking about flying out for a holiday, flying out for a visit. They want to come check it out, and I'm sure we'll have people coming in from all over Europe to see what's going on as well.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a busy opening day. I think one of the other parts that also sets us apart is the other services we provide, and there's one in particular that almost everyone requested because it does not exist anywhere else, which is the posing rooms. So I know they're immensely popular in the UK, but we've got 2 posing rooms here as well, which for those of you who don't know what posing room is, it's essentially a room fully blacked out, mirrors everywhere, adjustable lighting, so you don't have to go and stand in the middle of the gym with your top off to see what you look like. You've got the perfect conditions and you can have a really true, consistent, accurate representation of what you look like week on week when you want to see how your body's changing.
And it's nice to also, because for some people looking to compete, that's a great way to track their progress up to a competition, but for others who are just looking to improve their physique and they want to monitor how they're doing, they've got a great place to do that. Also a private place to do that, and nice to have a changing room in one of them as well, so that people can get ready in there in privacy and see how they're doing. I think there's also, I find it really motivational to see the transformation where you see someone's body change over 10 weeks or 20 weeks, and quite what an improvement they can make as well. So exciting to see. I think, you know, having the other facilities on site is part of making this not just a great gym in terms of the equipment, but all the ancillary, the extra facilities that mean that once you're here, you want to stay here and you can do some of the other things while you're here as well. And it just makes it so much more efficient and convenient for people.
I suppose one of the key concepts as well, we've touched on that a lot of serious athletes want to train Ultraflex gyms. However, especially in the UK, I've noticed we have all sorts of people that have just started going to the gym or IFBB pros training, and that's the concept we try to adapt to here because it's more on the rise. The idea is someone can walk in that has never trained before, they have no idea what they're doing, but they'll have access to top coaches in the building that we've hand selected. They'll have access to a dietitian, and then they'll have the best equipment they could possibly ask for. So from the get-go, you're starting off on the right foot, that you've got someone to tell you what to eat, how to train, and you've got every single piece of equipment in the right environment to train. Yeah. So I think that's very valuable in its own right.
It's great, and part of the way we lay out the equipment is to have it in body part areas, or in some cases here, a whole floor for certain body parts, which is going to be fantastic. But it means if you're looking to train a specific thing and you haven't been to the gym before, it's a much easier environment to come into, because everything you're going to want for that particular, for example, leg area would be all in the same area. And also then if one piece is busy, well, actually we have multiple options for that same type of piece of equipment. So when it's, you know, a busier time of day, you're not having to wait around, you can get on and use that piece of equipment, and also try some of the different angles, because everybody's body is different, and they'll find different machines that work better for them as well. So that's really good. The other thing we found with the gym as a whole is most of our members, 90%, are not people who are looking to compete. They're just people who want a great gym experience. They like to come into an energetic environment, somewhere where they can train alongside people who are perhaps doing that, but have a really motivational and positive experience as well. And that's the misconception that's important for people to realize. You don't have to be interested in competing ever to come in here. It's just a great place to come in and do your gym session. And seeing is believing. When you come in and you feel the difference in terms of the quality of the equipment, it may look similar to something you've used before, but it's a whole difference in terms of how it feels and how it impacts on your training as well.
And then to make it easier for people in this building, the way we've laid it out, so we've got a ground floor first and second, and it goes from top to bottom, push, pull, legs. So at least if you're doing a leg session, everything you need is on the ground floor, so it's also easier to walk out of the gym afterwards. And then the smaller the body parts get, it's higher up. We do have 2 lifts as well, so shouldn't be too bad for people, but at least again, that daunting gym experience of when you first go in and you don't know where everything is, should be very easy to navigate.
It's great, and a lot of the machines will have instructions on there, but as you say, we're having people around who can help. The nice thing also about having a really diverse group of members is that I find people really helpful, they're supportive. If they can see someone struggling to use a particular machine, they're happy to share with them, this is how you use it, and this is how to get the most out of that machine as well, which is a really nice community and supportive environment for people to be in.
I know that was very true for when I first started going to the gym when I was 16. I went to, again, more of a bodybuilding old school gym, and the biggest guys in there were the ones that were almost more excited than I was just to see people start in the gym. So I had a lot of help from other members, and that's, again, the culture I'm trying to bring from the UK to Greece and specifically here. I think that's a key part that will make or break any gym, is the culture. So we're very particular in terms of what we want to push forward as the right culture in a gym. And I think we'll be able to achieve that here.
Yeah, okay. Good question for you, Phil. What's the piece you're most excited about in terms of the gym equipment?
It's been a struggle finding somewhere where I can train legs properly. So please don't pan the camera down to my legs. But particularly the Atlantis Pro Hack Squat, that's a piece I love. It's completely excessive, super adjustable, super big and heavy, but that's a great piece. And then some of the pieces from New Tech that we've ordered, specifically the chest pieces, because everyone loves a good chest pump, they are pretty exciting as well. Super adjustable, really weird angles, but I think, yeah, having a nice hack squat finally, and then some nice new pieces from a new brand that we haven't tried before would be quite cool.
No, it'd be great.
What about yourself?
I go through different phases with different pieces of equipment as well. I'm always a big fan of some of the back equipment, and I've seen we've got some fantastic stuff, so I'm not going to spoil the surprise and tell people what's there, but there's going to be a huge range of every different angle. And that's the great thing, you can come in and do 10 different workouts and still not touch every piece of equipment in the gym as well. So, you know, it's going to be really exciting to see it all. I get just as enthusiastic as any of the members, even though I've been involved in the gyms for a long time. When I come in that first time, you just want to use every piece of equipment, and sometimes you have to kind of hold yourself back, otherwise you're going to be in bed for a few days, very sore and tired. But that's part of the excitement of being in it. As I said, it's an iron playground. It's an opportunity for people to really have the chance to try all sorts of different things. And machines you've never even seen before or don't know how they work, but that's part of the fun of it.
I think there's at least 4 brands that we've got that don't exist anywhere else in Greece. So definitely Prime, New Tech, Atlantis, they definitely don't exist anywhere else. I think there's a few others as well that you'll struggle to find. So even that novelty in itself. But one thing that we've done now for the first time here, which I'm very excited about, is a bit of a passion project, as we've designed our own dumbbells now, and barbells and plates. And it was, again, driven off the need of small adjustments that we saw that members wanted before. So the plates, because people that go to Ultraflex gyms get incredibly strong over time, and they often find there's a limitation to the plates can stick on or how many they can fit on. So we've designed new ones that are a bit thinner. The dumbbells, they're all stainless steel, new dumbbells that are incredibly compact. So even as you go up the weights, it becomes a lot more stable. And even the barbells, just being able to say, right, take all the feedback from everyone, what do you prefer in the barbells, and design something that is truly then fit for purpose. That's been exciting, and a bit of a passion project for me as well on the side.
No, great, good. I think the other thing that you told me about, which is really interesting, is the concept of being a social media friendly gym. You know, somewhere where people can film and take pictures, and that's such a big part of the culture of fitness now. And you know, you can have people who do or don't participate in that, but for those people who either want to do that as part of their personal progress, or they use that as part of their business creating content, I think it's going to be great to have a space where people can do that and show everyone how much they're enjoying the workouts and being part of that too.
Yeah, I mean, we do rely on a lot of the professionals in the industry, growing the industry and getting new people into it. So that was a really important part, was to make sure we can actually support them with that. If you're a new up and coming online coach where most of your business is online, if you're not able to film what you're doing, it's very hard to, first of all, show your own progress and show what you know, but just connect with your own audience. So the gym in general, the way it's set up with the angles of the machines, the colors, the lighting, it is meant to be a social media friendly gym. Doesn't mean people should go and film random people up in their face, but again, it would definitely support that.
Yeah, there's a balance to strike with it, and I always say to people, use small tripods or camera apparatus, be mindful of who's in the background of your pictures. and that way you can have an environment where everyone feels comfortable to train, but in doing so also you can film some great content and some exciting stuff. And that's going to be a big part of people getting to see and feel and hear about all the exciting stuff that's going on here as well. But I would say to people, don't just look at it on social media, think that looks good. Come down, check it out, try it for yourself, and then that's really when seeing becomes believing. We're really excited to have the gym open early in 2025. What I would say to people is you're very, very welcome. Please come down to the gym. We can't wait to show you around. There's going to be a lot of things going on here. We're going to bring in some big names from the fitness industry as well. So you'll get to see them, you'll get to see the gym, try it all out, and come down, check us out, and we'll make you feel very welcome.